Welcome to Mind Stretch. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing and controversial thought experiments in quantum mechanics, quantum immortality. Could you, in theory, live forever in a parallel universe? Let's explore the many worlds interpretation and see how it challenges our understanding of life, death, and reality itself. To grasp the concept of quantum immortality, we first need to understand the basics of quantum mechanics and the many worlds interpretation. Quantum mechanics describes the behavior of particles at the smallest scales, where the rules of classical physics no longer apply. One of its key features is the idea of superposition, where particles can exist in multiple states at once until observed. The many worlds interpretation, proposed by physicist Hugh Everett in 1957, suggests that all possible outcomes of quantum events actually occur, each in its own separate, branching universe. In other words, the universe splits into multiple, parallel realities every time a quantum event with multiple possible outcomes happens. Quantum immortality is a thought experiment that takes the many worlds interpretation to a personal level. It posits that if you were to face a life-or-death situation tied to a quantum event, there would always be at least one branch of the universe where you survive. From your own subjective experience, you would only be aware of the universes in which you continue to exist, leading to a form of immortality. This doesn't mean you become immortal in the traditional sense, but rather that your consciousness continues in the branches where you survive, even if the probabilities are incredibly low. To illustrate quantum superposition and the idea of multiple outcomes, let's revisit the famous thought experiment, Schrödinger's cat. A cat is placed in a sealed box with a radioactive atom that has a 50% chance of decaying and releasing poison, potentially harming the cat. Until the box is opened and observed, the cat is considered both alive and not alive simultaneously. According to the many worlds interpretation, when the box is opened, the universe splits into two branches, one where the cat is alive and one where it's not. Quantum immortality applies this concept to a human observer. A more direct illustration is the quantum suicide thought experiment. Imagine a device that can trigger different outcomes based on a quantum event, like the spin of a particle. Each time the experiment runs, there are two possible outcomes. In the many worlds interpretation, the universe splits each time, but the observer only experiences the branches where they continue to exist. From the observer's perspective, they would never experience the end of their own consciousness. This leads to the notion that they are quantum immortal within their own subjective experience. Quantum immortality raises profound philosophical questions about consciousness, identity, and the nature of reality. If there are infinite versions of ourselves, what does that mean for personal identity? Does consciousness necessarily continue in the surviving branches? And can we even test such a theory? These questions touch on the mind-body problem, the definition of self, and whether consciousness is tied to physical processes or something more elusive. Many scientists criticize the concept of quantum immortality for several reasons. First, it relies heavily on the many worlds interpretation, which, while mathematically consistent, is still unproven and one of several interpretations of quantum mechanics. Second, it assumes that consciousness continues seamlessly in the surviving branches, a notion that is highly speculative. Additionally, the theory doesn't account for the natural limitations of the human body over time. Even if you survive certain quantum events, aging and other factors would still lead to an eventual end of consciousness in all branches. There are other interpretations of quantum mechanics, such as the Copenhagen interpretation, which suggests that quantum states collapse into a single outcome upon observation. In this view, quantum immortality doesn't hold, as there are no branching universes where every possible outcome occurs. Furthermore, some theories propose that consciousness itself may not play a special role in quantum mechanics, challenging the idea that our awareness can influence or be influenced by quantum events in such a direct way. So, is quantum immortality just a thought experiment, or could it have real implications? While it's a fascinating idea that pushes the boundaries of physics and philosophy, there's currently no empirical way to test it. It serves more as a tool to explore the implications of the many worlds interpretation and the nature of consciousness. Until we have a better grasp of quantum mechanics and consciousness, quantum immortality remains a speculative but intriguing concept that invites us to ponder the mysteries of existence. Despite its speculative nature, the concept of quantum immortality has sparked discussions in both scientific and philosophical communities. It challenges us to think about the limits of science in explaining consciousness and the universe. It also encourages exploration into the ethical considerations of quantum theories and their interpretations. Whether or not quantum immortality holds any truth, it pushes the boundaries of our understanding and inspires new questions about the nature of reality. Thanks for joining us on this mind-bending journey through quantum immortality and the many worlds interpretation. If this topic stretched your mind, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think quantum immortality is possible, or is it just a fascinating thought experiment? We'd love to hear your perspective. Until next time on Mind Stretch,